So a few months ago, I dropped this hat, which is an embroidered twill hat with distressing on the bill, distressing on the crown. We've got an embroidered Oracle logo on the front, and then on the back, we have the embroidered minimum logo with a subtle curve to fit the back strap. Then everyone's favorite part, 2 dagger piercings in the bill with steel grommets. And people loved it. It sold out very quickly. In fact, when I teased it, there was a huge wait list for this hat. The wait list exploded to over 800 names, and there's only going to be initially 100 hats. I doubled my order when I saw the interest in this hat, and then it sold out again. Now, ordinarily, a business owner is going to say, wow, amazing. This is great. Let me order 500 more or 2,000 more. And I could, but I didn't. And the reason why is because even though this hat sold phenomenally well, I'm talking 20, 30 units a day in some places, and it would have been super profitable to reorder, my brand has a principle, and I have a principle, that I will not restock ever. The reason this is important, though, is because I believe that principles only really matter when they are hard to follow. I mean, anyone can have a principle, right? Any friend of mine that gets caught, they won't be my friend, right? Or, yeah, imagine the guys who drive around town with fucking decals on the back of their car that's like, shoot your local pedophile. Go do it, man. There's a registry. Like, you could, but they won't. And the reason why they won't is because there's actual consequences to following their principle. Since the beginning, my brand, Minimum, has always committed to not restocking most items. Now, there's a couple different exceptions to this rule. The exceptions being there's a t-shirt called a Devotion t-shirt, which is a logo t-shirt. It's got an Oracle on the front. It's got Minimum on the back shoulders. It was designed specifically for the purposes of being a logo t-shirt. And the plan has always been to restock that one. That's different. And then the Oracle hoodie, the one that I wear with the giant Oracle on the back, that also has plans to join like a permanent collection. However, I think with that one, I'm going to keep doing small things where I change it every season. Just kind of an interest thing. So those are the only 2 exceptions, though, unless I add more things to a permanent collection. But for the most part, any unique item is not going to be considered for restocking. And this has made certain things kind of tough at times. Like, a lot of people like that items don't restock, but at other times, people have offered me $300, $400, $500 for a one-off print of a shirt that's sold out. Or they've offered me, they've basically said that they're only going to buy if I offer a vault sale, where I bring back stuff from like seasons 1 and 2 and re-offer it. And in the beginning, I was actually a little bit softer on this principle. I thought, well, maybe in 5 years we'll do a vault sale and whatever. But I actually think as I get deeper and deeper into it, that the pain that I feel, quote unquote, I'm not in pain, but the pain that I feel in maintaining this standard is the price of the standard, and it makes it more valuable. The fact that I could make a shitload more money dropping more bandit caps, is the price that goes into the brand. It is a sacrifice to the longevity and to the character of the brand as witnessed by people on the outside. To make this a more general statement and not just one about clothing, when you have a principle that you are holding, it isn't real until it actually causes you to change your behavior in some way. Because anyone can say anything, right? If I met an alien, I would kill it. Like, who cares? If you are talking about things that do not meaningfully shape your behavior in any way, you're wasting oxygen. If you have a principle of something, if you have some sort of hard line in the sand that you've decided to never cross, and then you reach that line and you cross it, what you're proving to others is that you don't actually have a moral code. But more importantly, you're proving to yourself that you don't have a moral code. Now, you might think that it doesn't matter, but it really does to your subconscious. When you are proving to your subconscious that you have no line that you will not cross, that you're okay with breaking these rules that you've set, then what happens is your self-control erodes. Imagine that you're trying to gain muscle, or lose weight, or go to the gym consistently, or lower your screen time. If you are trying to do all of those things, but you've taught yourself through repetition that you are willing to break any rule once it conflicts with comfort, then what happens is you become someone who chases comfort constantly. And that chasing comfort is not necessarily a bad thing in all cases, but in many cases, chasing comfort can lead you to a life of moral excess. Now, I'm not a Stoic. I'm actually an Epicurean hedonist, and I could go into that in a future video. But the main principle that I hold is that by allowing yourself to break any rule that you possibly want, you're indulging yourself. And when you indulge yourself, you are going to suffer an imbalanced life. I love pumpkin pie. I love vanilla shakes from Culver's, okay? I'm not really a big sweets guy, but I really love beer as well. If I don't put a limit on myself in some way, that I can only, I create these rules for myself. I can only have a vanilla shake, once a month. I can only get a 12 rack of beer once on Friday. So if I don't create these rules for myself, what happens is I become a person who becomes prone to excess and indulgence. And then I begin to suffer the consequences of that excess and indulgence. I gain weight. I look older. I am getting fat. I'm spending a lot of money on something that I don't need. So the point of this whole thing is that when it comes to a principle that you have, you should only consider it to be a real principle once you have actually followed it to personal cost. Without following a principle to personal cost, it's just an idea. And ideas are worthless until they're executed. Shorter video today, but I hope this helps.